a big shot unless we talking about hip-hop. Bad at TikTok, but I'll make movies like Hitchcock. Challenge Mitch, you'll barely make it like trick shots. Check your wristwatch, it's time for you all to quit. Stop trying me. I'ma be honest, I'm pretty glad no labels eyeing me. I'm independent and I don't want nobody buying me.
Yo, what up, everybody? This is Mitch Darrell. It is a beautiful Thursday morning. We're almost to the weekend. And we today are going to talk about no other than the album of the year for me, and for a lot of other people I have asked, Church Clothes 4 by Lecrae. And really, I'm just kind of there's nothing scheduled. I just kind of decided I'd turn the camera on and give my thoughts. I did the same thing with New Hollywood because, you know, for those of y'all that watch the reaction, by the time I'm done, it's like 1 a.m. and I'm exhausted, and I just need time to listen to the songs on my own and to really think everything through and think, what my actual thoughts are on the project. Of course, my initial, it's funny, going into it, when you know it's Lecrae, you want to go ahead and say, this is probably going to be the best project because it's Lecrae, right? He's kind of like the Drake when it comes to at least popularity. Maybe Jay-Z is a better comparison. He's the top of rap. It's kind of indisputable, right? In Christian hip hop. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, if he doesn't have project of the year, then something probably went wrong because he's technically probably got the most money to spend on his music, the most resources, had a lot of time, the most buzz. So going into it, I try not to give him that top spot until I've listened to it. And then once I got through the whole thing, it's like, okay, this is, for me at least, clearly above anything else that I had heard, at least up until that point. We still got a few weeks left. We got about 7 weeks left until lists will come out. But honestly, what I'm going to start with is the critiques that I saw of the album. So for people that didn't have it as their top album, I saw everything from, it doesn't sound like anything new from Lecrae. It sounds like what he usually does. I've heard that. I've heard it's too much auto-tune, which I knew was going to be an issue because people had an issue when he dropped Spread the Ops, and it was auto-tune. I heard that there weren't any standout tracks. I heard that nothing really like popped or really stood out as something that stuck with the listener. Those were probably the main things I heard. Now, for me, one, I don't mind autotune at all. I think that's just a preference thing. If you don't rock with the autotune type sound, there's nothing that can be done. Like, you can't fix that. That's not really, it's not a bad or good thing. It just is what it is. So you're not really going to rock with some of the songs on here, right? Maybe a good majority of them, because that's kind of the sound he went with. To combat that, though, he's not doing autotune like some of the younger guys do, where there's no substance, there's no rapping. He's kind of doing like the Lil Wayne, Lil Baby, if you guys are familiar with them, type autotune, where it's autotune, but it's over really good rapping. Like, he's still rapping extremely well, He's saying a lot. He's not mumbling. I don't want to hear anybody say he's mumble rapping. There was a ton of substance in this. It just happens to be he's using that particular sound. So if you don't like that sound, you're not going to like the project. That just is what it is. As far as there being nothing that stuck out, this project had a lot of both standout tracks mixed with songs that really make you feel something. Like, I don't see how you could listen to Deconstruction, I got the track list right in front of me, and not feel something. Like, especially if you've gone through anything like that. It's very much so him talking about, he's being transparent. I love songs like that. I love projects like that where the artist is not afraid to come out and say, yo, listen, this is what I dealt with. It's not easy to say. It's probably not easy to hear. Especially him being like a role model. Like, it's tough to come out and say the things, especially when a lot of people that consider themselves fans or Christians like to claim that Cray is no longer a Christian, or he stopped being a Christian, or he doesn't follow God. Like, to come out and say like, yo, listen, I was doing this deconstruction thing before there was even a name for it. Here's what I did. Here's why. Here's when I reconstructed. Like, that's tough to put on record in raps. And I feel like that song, if no other song stuck out to you, that one did, right? As far as like just a catchiness, songs you can listen to over and over again, Spread the Ops was already fire. I'll say Misconceptions 4 is great. And I'm not just saying that as a No Big Deal, an AI fan, and John Key fan. The rapping on there is top tier. Honestly, Lecrae killed his verse 2 at the end, but honestly, I was sold after the first 2 verses, and then AI and Lecrae came on. Misconceptions 4 is probably, as of right this second, my favorite song on there, but it's just because I'm such a big fan of every artist on there, right? So that's a standout. Protect My Peace for me was a great song, and it really stuck out to me because, especially for artists and people, so those of us that are a little more out in the public or have more people to deal with, you have to protect your peace. It's one of those things that you talk about a lot, easier said than done. You have to get to a place where you're not letting other people affect you in such a way that it takes you away from God, takes you away from your happiness and joy in this world. I even tweeted this morning, I was like, life becomes exponentially easier once you stop worrying about other people. And that's one of those things that's super tough because we're surrounded by other people and other people's thoughts all the time, whether in our actual life or on the internet, right? So just having an anthem for Protect My Peace, like, yeah, you're right. This is something I need to do, and this is a song that can remind me of that. The freestyle is good. There was another song on here. Let's see. Still in America is one of those standout tracks for me. And it's probably the most, we'll say, controversial songs, even though I feel like it shouldn't be. I did a short on YouTube saying Lecrae is calling out America because that's what he's doing. And there are some people that don't believe you should ever do that. I'm of the belief that we should really be holding up a mirror to ourselves as a nation and really trying to live to our standard that we set for ourselves, that we claim to be this great nation. We need to show it, right? He talks about everything from churches not actually doing what they should be, using money the wrong way. Christians that say they're Christians that aren't really acting Christ-like. Everything. There's so many things about America where it's like, no, we don't want to leave. No, we're not hating on the country. Yes, we want it to be better. Yes, we want us to recognize we're not perfect, and these things can be fixed. We like to claim to be perfect without fixing anything. Sometimes we need to be told. So that was really a standout track for me. The song Dirt is super catchy, simple hook, but catchy hook. Easily a song that I think would be great in a performance setting. The intro is good. It really sets the tone. Fear Not is a really good song, and that was, of course, a single as well. But overall, to me, it's 13 songs, it's 41 minutes, it's very concise, but there's a ton of substance, a ton of really good rapping. Yes, he's doing the newer sound in some ways. Yes, he has some songs that don't use that sound, but either way, if you listen to what he's saying, take away the bias of, I don't like the autotune sound, I'm not used to that, or when I hear it, it's usually somebody who doesn't have a lot of substance. You really got to try to filter that out and just say, listen, I'm going to give this a chance. I'm going to listen to the words he's saying, listen to the beat, listen to the sounds and everything, but really listen to what he's saying. And I guarantee there's not a chance that you could listen to all 13 of these songs and not come away with anything. I don't see how you could do that. And I think that's impressive because it'd be easy for Lecrae at this point in his life to stop trying to talk and just kind of go with the vibes. Even the auto-tune sound lends itself to doing vibey stuff that doesn't necessarily have to have a message. But he made it a point to have a message throughout this entire thing, so much so that I think some people are upset because they don't necessarily agree with some of the message. But that's neither here nor there. For me, this album will more than likely be my album of the year. And it's not even because some other stuff came out after this project that I really liked as well. And I think there's some stuff that I got an early listen to that's going to come out this year that might give this a run for its money. But the reason why I think this will remain number one is because it's so cohesive. Like, there's the joke of, don't listen to a new album on shuffle because that's crazy. And I agree, it is crazy. And the reason for that, though, is with these type of projects, it's not a playlist, right? It's not like a mixtape, like the Reach Record playlist for summer. You have to listen to this from the beginning to the end to get the entire story, to get the entire message. It all is together. It's all very calculated and put together and sequenced in a very specific way. And I love albums that do that because there's not that many that do it anymore. A lot of things are very playlist based. Everything is about getting on a Spotify playlist, an algorithm, and TikTok sounds, which is fine. But actually having a body of work, something that I want, like the CD, or I have a vinyl collection, a vinyl of. This is something that I would get a vinyl of because I could just listen to it from the beginning to the end. Each time it's kind of like watching a movie. And if any of you guys have a favorite movie, sometimes you're in the mood to just watch the whole thing. Maybe you might want to watch a scene or you think about a clip from it, but usually it's like, I want to experience that whole story. Same with a book, right? So yeah, this is a very, very good album. I'm not going to get into which my church clothes ranking. because that's been the other debate. That might be a whole separate video of where does this rank amongst the church closes. But we know that this is the last one. I think he went out with a bang. I think he did a great job. And I do think that this is probably going to be album of the year. And yeah, I mean, if you don't rock with the sound, you're not going to rock with the album. But I do beg you, if you haven't listened to it all the way through, or you listened once and you were like, it's not really for me, just try again. Listen to it in a different setting. If you listened in your AirPods, listen in the car. Listen in headphones. Listen on a walk. Really try to get somewhere where you can focus on everything he's saying. And come back to me. Come back to the comments. Let me know if you rock with it, or if you're like, nah, this isn't for me. But yeah, shout out to Lecrae. Shout out to Reach Records. Again, shout out to everybody who's really just been showing my account love. Like, God has blessed me. I did one reaction to Spread the Ops off this project just on a whim because Luis, one of my supporters, said you should, and I did. And fell in love with it. I really love doing this. I've gained a bunch of subscribers. The number keeps going up every day. I have people telling me I'm their favorite YouTuber, which is crazy because I don't even really feel like a YouTuber. I just like talking and listening to music. But I think God put this in my life for a reason. And it's super fun. I feel like I'm being helpful, and I feel like I'm entertaining you guys in some way. Somebody said that my voice reminds them of ASMR, which thank you, I guess. Hey, I'll take it. Anything to get you guys to listen and to watch and to gain something, hopefully. So I appreciate all you guys. I'm gonna probably eat lunch here in a second and try to make it to the weekend. So like and subscribe if you have not. Praise God. Peace.